ever get that feeling of seeing something out of the corner of your eye, only for it to vanish when you turn to look? Can send chills down your spine. It's as if the shadows themselves are playing tricks on us, leaving us questioning our own sanity. Leaving us question our own sanity. Welcome, brave souls, to a realm where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin. Tonight, we embark on a chilling journey into the heart of darkness, where ghosts hold secrets and spirits roam free. So gather around and prepare to be captivated by the eerie whispers of the night. The Haunted House. As I cautiously crossed the threshold of the decrepit old house, a sense of foreboding washed over me. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay, and the once grand foyer now lay in ruins, shrouded in darkness. Despite the overwhelming urge to turn back, I pressed forward, driven by a morbid curiosity to uncover the secrets hidden within its walls. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the house, the silence was deafening. Every creak of the floorboards beneath my feet echoed through the empty corridors, amplifying the feeling of isolation that surrounded me. It was as if the very walls themselves were alive, whispering tales of long-forgotten horrors. Suddenly, a chill raced down my spine as I heard faint whispers drifting through the air. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end, and I felt a presence looming over me, unseen but undeniably real. The temperature plummeted, sending shivers coursing through my body, and I knew I was not alone. Then, as if from nowhere, I felt a cold hand brush against my shoulder. My heart leaped into my throat as I spun around, expecting to come face to face with some malevolent entity. But to my horror, there was nothing there, only darkness and the empty void of the abandoned house. It was then that I knew I needed a paranormal investigation. Terrified beyond reason, I stumbled backwards, my pulse racing with adrenaline. Every instinct screamed at me to flee, to escape the clutches of whatever sinister force lurked within those walls. With trembling hands and ragged breaths, I turned and ran, heedless of the obstacles that lay in my path. As I burst through the front door and into the cool night air, I felt a sense of relief wash over me. But even as I put distance between myself and the haunted house, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that clung to me like a shadow. The memory of that encounter would haunt me for the rest of my days, a constant reminder of my depth of despair. The ghostly apparition. It was a misty evening, the kind that cloaks the world in an eerie shroud, casting everything in a pall of uncertainty. Despite the chill in the air and the warning whispers of my subconscious, I found myself drawn to the old cemetery on the outskirts of town. Perhaps it was the allure of the unknown, the inexplicable pull of the supernatural. But whatever the reason, I couldn't resist the urge to explore. As I ventured deeper into the graveyard, the fog thickened around me, enveloping me in a cold embrace. The tombstones rose up like silent sentinels, their inscriptions worn away by time and weather. It was as if the very earth itself held its breath, waiting for something to happen. And then I saw it, a figure materializing out of the mist, its form shifting and wavering like a specter from another realm. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, piercing through the darkness with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. I tried to turn and flee, to escape the clutches of this unearthly being, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot, paralyzed by fear. The ghostly apparition drew closer, its tattered rags billowing around it like a cloak of shadows. It reached out to me with spectral hands, its touch like ice against my skin. I could feel its presence pressing down upon me, suffocating me with its malevolent energy. And then it spoke, a whisper so faint it was barely audible, yet it echoed in the depths of my mind like a scream. It called my name, each syllable dripping with menace and malice. I felt a surge of primal terror coursing through my veins, threatening to consume me whole. With a desperate effort, I tore myself away from the ghostly figure, breaking free from its grasp. I stumbled backwards, my heart pounding in my chest as I fled from the cemetery, leaving behind the haunting specter that had crossed my path. But even as I put distance between myself and the graveyard, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that lingered like a stain upon my soul. The memory of that encounter would haunt me for the rest of my days, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of our reality. The haunted hotel room. It was a stormy night when I arrived at the remote hotel, nestled deep in the countryside. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows and sending shivers down my spine. Despite the ominous weather, I checked into my room and tried to shake off the sense of unease that had settled over me. As I settled into bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of the wind seemed to echo with an eerie presence. I brushed it off as nerves and tried to drift off to sleep, but sleep eluded me indeed. Unable to rest, I decided to explore the room in hopes of finding something to distract me from the growing sense of dread. Tucked away in the corner of the closet, I found an old Ouija board, its surface covered in dust and cobwebs. Despite my reservations, I couldn't resist the temptation to try it out. I lit a few candles for atmosphere and placed my fingers on the planchette, asking if there were any spirits present in the room. At first, nothing happened, but then, slowly, the planchette began to move, spelling out a message. "Help me." My heart raced as I realized I was not alone in the room. I quickly quickly said goodbye to the spirit and put the Ouija board away, hoping to forget the encounter. As the night wore on, I found it increasingly difficult to ignore the feeling of being watched. Strange noises echoed through the room, and an icy breeze swept through, chilling me to the bone. I pulled the covers tighter around me, trying to block out the sense of impending doom. And then, it happened. I felt a presence in the room, a dark shadow looming over me. I opened my eyes and saw a figure standing at the foot of my bed, its form hazy and indistinct. It seemed to be reaching out to me, beckoning me closer with a ghostly hand. Terrified, I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I could feel its malevolent intent, its eyes boring into mine with an intensity that made my blood run cold. With a surge of adrenaline, I leaped out of bed and fled from the room, slamming the door behind me. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the lobby, too afraid to return to my room. When morning finally came, I gathered my things and checked out of the hotel, eager to put the terrifying ordeal behind me. But the memory of that haunted hotel room would haunt me for years to come. I never forgot the feeling of dread that washed over me that night, or the chilling encounter with the ghostly presence that lurked within its walls. And though I tried to convince myself it was just a trick of the imagination, deep down, I knew the truth, that some things are beyond explanation, and that the spirit world is very real indeed. Thanks for joining me on this spine